Hey everybody, it's Judy. Welcome back to Rose Lane. My apologies for the abrupt cutoff. I was right. I had too much in my phone and I didn't get very far. Uh, I got this glued down and I glued down the butterfly. I don't remember what I was talking about, so I'll probably get off on some other tangent. But in any case, hopefully I should be fine. So I'm going to put, since I don't know how to, did I do this one? Apparently I did. But it did not glue it all the way down because I checked and my phone and found that I have an issue, that my video had stopped. So I'm just going to add a little more glue here and try to get these down. Don't know what got me to not finish gluing it, or pressing it down, because I can't remember because the video shut off and now I have no proof of what I was doing. I have no idea how to find out what I was doing, what I was thinking, and I can just forget that easily. It's rough getting old, you know? So anyway, I'll go ahead and get these glued down. Particularly these little things because they're so fragile. Instead of doing it with my finger, I should do it with that so that I don't pick up. As I said, I mean, even these little things, I'm able to cut this. Well, let me give you, for instance, let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. You see something like this little line right here? Is that focusing? I'm able to, that's a little sepal, you know, off the bud. And with those scissors, I'm able to go right around that and get those tiny little nuances, which I love about these scissors. I'm sure there's other scissors. I'm sure they're probably quite expensive. Like I said, these only cost me like $8 or $9, I think $8 at Hobby Lobby, but they don't have them anymore. I can't find them, which is heartbreaking to me because they're just fabulous. I love these scissors. Now, I didn't really have anything else ever for fussy cutting. I happened to just find those when I was just beginning all of this. So I just kind of lucked out, I think. I was very lucky to have found them. So yeah. So I'm sure if I want another good pair of scissors, I'm probably going to pay a fortune to have to get something that really will work on these. Now this, I still intend to sew around these. These leaves have come very close to the edge, but it just kind of gonna be what it is. So, and I tipped this butterfly the other way because I had a little bit more space for his wing, and this butterfly will go here like this on this side. We'll put the hole in and we'll put the ribbon in, and then, oh, I don't want to do that because I have the fabric in here. So besides which, I get to play with this a little bit more. But anyhow, then we're going to move on to probably making the pockets. I'll show you what I intend to do for the flip side of that pull-out page. I'm thinking they're still trying to dry, so I have a little bit of time left. I had done them, you know, before I had done some of this other stuff, just so that I could get them drying, but I really made it pretty thick, and I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go from the back of these and put my hole in. Of course, the hole for this thing, and this I'm also cutting through the lace here, which it doesn't like. So I'll be a little bit more aggressive and persuasive here with this. Didn't work. It's cutting through the lace, it's cutting through the glue, so it doesn't like it, but that's okay because you won't see it. All right, let me grab my ribbon, and we're going to cut a couple of these. So we're set, and then I can just put the ribbon back to the side over there. Okay. And let's get our ribbon through. Now, I struggle with making these bows only because I have chubby fingers. Didn't used to. For those of you who remember the good old days when you were younger and thinner, yeah, so I've got kind of chubby fingers, and it makes it a little difficult for me to grab onto the stuff. So I'm just going to do this. Oh, actually, when I think about it, I want to tie it from this way because it's not, this is where the bow is going to, you know, be seen. So I have to make a really big loop. I'm going to try not to take it too close to me. I don't like having to cut the ribbon extra long because I have to, you know, I cut pieces off all the time, but I don't really have too much of a choice sometimes because my fingers are so chubby, I can't grab it. So yeah, so I try not to, but we'll see. So, and I just have to keep working this to get to the size that I want. This side tends to pull a little bit more as I say that, and the other side pulls. Okay, so let's see. Get that, pull this one. I actually want to position it so it goes down. So that's good. Okay, now I'll cut my end and get rid of my little bits. See, that's not too much of a waste. So, all right, we're going to get the ribbon on the other one, and then we're going to, actually I didn't sew. You know what? I didn't sew. And the reason why I'm not going to sew these off, my sewing machine is behind me on another table. I really don't have a way to be able to pull it over. The cord won't reach. When sewing around here isn't too bad. My machine is over 40 years old, so it does straight stitch and zigzag, and my variation on decorative is how wide or long I can make a zigzag stitch. That's about all I've got. It's just not as fine-tuned, I guess, as the machines are today. And when I sew, it kind of wants to do this and wiggle, and you know, the pressure on the foot pedal is iffy at best sometimes. So when I get to this part, I've been literally just turning the wheel and stitching one stitch at a time, and I'll stitch a stitch and move it, stitch a stitch and move it, stitch it, and then go back. So it takes far too long. But anyway, I'll take this ribbon out later when I'm going to sew these, because it does, I've been sewing and it looks really pretty. So I think I'm going to put this one is going to go in this pocket because of where the butterfly is. Or do I want this one and this one? Okay, you know what? I kind of like it over here, and I think we're all right. We're all right with that. So that's how that's going to look in here, in this pocket. So you can see with the tracing paper underneath the die cut, and you can see the flowers and stuff like that, and then it's the butterfly. So what I'm going to do for the butterfly right now, and I'll do for both, is I'll put my Wink of Stella on. Let me go grab it out of my drawer. We'll do those and put them to the side. We'll let them dry, and I will sew them off camera. So just get this going. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing and you don't see my head in the shot. So I still have to be very careful. I'm going to squeeze a little bit more down. This is starting to go away. I'm going to have to open up another one soon. But I do so love this. It makes the color just a little bit more, I think, just a little bit more vibrant, almost like when you wet something and it makes it just, I mean, you can see the difference. See the difference? Just one side to the other. How different it looks, and it adds that little bit of almost a feel of iridescence, like when you really take a good look at a butterfly. They have that kind of iridescent, dewy sort of look to them, at least while they're alive anyway. So it's really, it makes them look, I think, more real, and gives a little pop to it. It's just so much. I don't know, it just makes it look really nice. And I do the whole thing. I do the antenna and the body. I do the whole 9 yards with it. So it really looks pretty. So anyhow, put you over that way. So that's what we're doing here. So I think what I was talking about when the camera shut off, and I do want to, I'm paranoid now. So I'm just going to keep watching. Like I said, I'll put these two videos up together because I don't know how to, you know, splice them together to make one video. So there'll be 2 separate videos, but I'll just put them up back to back. I think what I was saying before when the video did shut off, because I hadn't done very much, as you could tell when I checked, it had probably just shut off for about a minute previous. So aren't they just so pretty? They're just so pretty. So pretty. Okay, we're going to put these guys to the side. Actually, I'll just put them up this way. Let them dry up here on that shelf. So this is what we're going to work on next, which is in here. Okay, now what I wanted to do, this is not easy, you know, because I think of these things after the fact, is it this one? No, I think it's this one I meant on this side. Because I cut these out and they're so fine and they're so fragile. Hang on one second. I just want to get a tissue because my nose is a little runny. Okay, thanks. I don't know if you can see what I did, but I just put a kind of a thick layer of art glitter glue on it to give it a little bit more stability. Hopefully it won't tear, because what I want to do with them is put them on this piece like this, but of course these guys are going to hang over the side. And this is a tag is going to go in here. So again, another delicate thing, you know, putting this on like this. I'm trying not to let it hit, but that's my thought. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to use pictures of ladies. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to show you over here and on the tag, so that the pocket would actually frame her when she's in the pocket. So I'm gonna just kind of let this, I really put a thick layer on it, trying to get it to dry. But what we're gonna do is we will, let me put this away. We'll work on the tags, and I kind of did I had this funky color copy paper. So I did want to use the embossing on the back. I did want to use a paper that matches this on here, which is a smaller size. So I think what I'm going to do is put her picture off to the side. So that's what, and I haven't cut anything, so you know, the actual pieces. So you're going to get to watch me play with cutting. Oh, but before I do that, I wanted to show you, actually I can kind of show you on here. I came across this typing paper, which I got a package of it at a thrift store. I believe it was brand new, never used, not brand new because it's antique. By the packaging, it looks like the kind of packaging you would have maybe found in the 30s or 40s. So you're talking about something that's like 70 or 80 years old, or more, 40s, so that's 60, 80 or 90 years old, this paper. It's a good weight, but it's got a beautiful color to it. It's got a great feel to it. And I printed, and you know, I don't have anything that's got a light on it, but I printed these pictures on it, and I wish I could show you. You really can't see through it, but it has this great kind of, I don't know, it's just, I'm not sure if you're really going to be able to appreciate on camera what it's like, but it's just, it's so pretty. It makes it look so delicate. So I printed a whole bunch of stuff, some ladies, on like 4 or 5 sheets of the paper, because I'm going to be pretty stingy with it, because how often do you come across 80 or 90-year-old paper? Not too often. And it's really nice, and it's kind of got this yellowed patina to it already, which is awesome. So anyway, so these were the pictures that I was going to use. They're not exactly the same size, but they're close enough. They're not going to be together, so I don't have to worry about that. So what I want to do first, bring up my cutter, and I am going to get a piece of my embossing folder, not embossing folder, my embossed paper, my embossed cardstock. I'm just going to cut off this edge because it, doesn't fit. And then I think I made these they were 3.5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3.5 by 7. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to, actually, let me cut it this way. Get my glue out of the way here. All right, so we're going to go to the 7, and that gives me this nice piece down on the bottom that I can put to the side. And I only need 2, so 3.5. Oops, which this didn't want to completely do. It's getting to be time, I think, for me to change my my blade on here, which I believe I have. Yes, I have extra blades down here in this little compartment. So 3.5 and 3.5. Oh, that one worked okay. So that's going to be the base. What I'm going to use now for putting under the ladies, and see, this is what I mean when I have all this stuff that I cut away. All right, I'm just going to get rid of this. I mean, these kinds of things I could print on, stamp words or something like that. Do you know how many of those I have put aside? Tons and tons and tons. So I'm just going to drop these into my bin, and eventually it'll become homemade paper one of these days. By the time I get around to it, I'll probably have enough paper to make about 500 sheets. But we'll see. So I'm going to put that to the side. And this one, like I said, this is just paper from this kit, just made smaller from this size. And here you can see the border that I have that I will eventually cut away and save. So it's just made a little smaller, so it's like 2 to a page rather than the 1. Okay, I may or may not use this. I may use the rotary cutter, I don't know. So what I want to do is I need then this size, because it's wide enough to fit the biggest picture, but I want to be able to see as much of the roses as I can. So I'm actually going to place it where I get the most of the flowers. And what I've been doing with this is I don't want to glue like the whole thing, so I've only been gluing like spots, besides which I will sew this. So we're not going to exactly finish these tags. You'll see how I'm going to piece them together, but because I have to sew it, we will I'll put them together, completely off camera. So that's that one. Okay, then this one we'll put on here. Actually, let me just kind of have a look. All right, I'm thinking there I can go a little lower. She's a little smaller, so she'll show a little bit more of the flowers around her. So all right, so we will do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut around the picture by using this size template, so I know where I want to bring that. Okay. There we go. Oops, little wiggle. Stop wiggling. No wiggling allowed. Stop wiggling. All right. Oops, picked up my ribbon. That goes with the other over there. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take the small piece, put that over there, and I'm going to, that's pretty good. So I'm just going to line this up, and I'm going to hold it up to my light where you probably can't see, and I'm probably in the camera on you, but that looks like it's good and centered to me, hopefully. Get my pencil, and I'm just going to do a couple of marks so I know where I want to cut, trim away the paper, here and here and here. So we'll trim that one, and then we'll do this. Actually, let's do this one, and we can trim them both together. All right, so okay, so she's going to have a little bit more on top of her. Well, it's the same thing. Okay. It's just the way the flowers go. So my big thing is I want to get it side to side where it belongs, so that I don't, you know, kind of cut it off center. I'm hoping this is even, or even enough anyway. So there, just those few little lines. I'll move that to the side. Let's get our cutter back up. Okay, and let's see if I can see where I put the dots. Alrighty, do that. I'll take that to the side, and this one, and this one, and I'm hoping that enough of the embossed paper will show. That's my thing. I want it that way. It does show enough. It does show enough. Okay, we got to do some inking. I forgot to ink around the edges. Actually, I still can, I think. I can probably ink, because I don't have this glued completely down, and I'm not really going in far. I just am trying to kind of make the edge not white, you know. So if I can just fold these back. I don't want the glue too close to the edge anyway, but okay. And I'm worried about a few crinkles in the paper because it's going to get glued down. All right, and then this side. Same thing, as long as I'm not completely folding it. Okay, so there's that. That looks a little better. All right, let's move that one to the side. Let's get this one inked before I start cutting this one out. I need a little bit more ink, I think. Oh my goodness. So here we are, the middle of July already. And I have to say, being way up north like this, we've had a few days where it's been, you know, pretty muggy and in the 90s. But I've lived in places, and I you know, well, I've lived even down south here. I've lived in Kentucky for a brief while with my work. And yeah, oh, you know what? Let me do the top first. Where's my top lines? There they are. Yeah, I've lived in places that get quite a bit muggier than this. Summers are actually pretty pleasant up here. I thought maybe because we had just come last year in the summertime, and I thought maybe it was just kind of an anomaly. Maybe we were just, you know, having a mild summer. But apparently that's not the case. Apparently it is quite pleasant here in the summer. So at least so far. And since we've been here for 11 months, that's not a bad thing. So I am just going to now on the other cards that I did, because I had different paper in the back, I put a little white, just a tiny little white frame under it, but I didn't think this was necessary here. Because of the paper being white, you know, the background being white on the design. So I opted not to put that in. So I think we'll be okay. All right, and then this one, I do have a couple of little pencil marks, but now that I inked over that one, I'm not sure it's going to come off. Oh, you know what? Maybe that isn't a pencil mark. This one was a pencil mark, though. Pretty sure. No, I think it was not. I think it is part of the design, actually. I can't seem to get it off. That is a leaf, now that I look at it. Just a tiny little bit of a leaf. So we'll do this. And I think what I'm going to do, which I've done on a couple of the other cards that are in here, which I did off camera, is I'm going to, oh, I still need this. I'm going to offset, when I put this on, I'll put whichever card is going to go on which side. I've been putting the bow in the corner on a couple of them, which I kind of liked. So yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I still have to cut the backing card, the cream colored card for the back, because of course you can't write on that because of it being embossed, and just paper isn't sufficient because you'll end up putting holes in the paper trying to write because of the relief of the design. So okay, so that's that one. Like I said, I will sew. I'm going to sew because I don't want to sew and have the back of the card have all this sewing. I just want the edges to show on, you know, when I attach the cream colored card to the, for the backing. I'm going to sew around her. I'm going to sew around here, and then I'll put that on here, glue it on, glue the backing, and then sew the whole thing. So there'll be stitching, stitching, stitching in 3, but I don't want this stitching or this stitching to show through on the back of the card, the actual, you know, writing part of the card. So I have to stitch first and do that, you know, then glue it down and then stitch it all together. So oops, a little bit of a piece there. So anyway, so that's that. Like it this way. Nope, this way on this one. Okay. So I'm going to put them to this side just a little bit, because when you put them in here, just give it that little bit, and you'll see the edge of the card more on this side. When you put it in here this way, then we're going to take, I think it's this one I mean for this side, yeah, and that'll go on here, and you'll be able to see her framed by these flowers. So that's what I'm thinking. If I put it more to the center, I'd be covering more of her, which I don't want to do. And then the bow will be up in here, up in the corner. And really, I think that's all I'm going to do. And then what you have here is the same paper here and here. This is just larger, and this is the smaller. So that's essentially what these are going to look like. Kind of simple. I'm still, actually I think I might actually be able to get away with putting it on. I do though want to, my paper again, I don't know, I buried it. Okay, I'll go off here. Just wanna, there's a few white spots, not much, a couple little places where I just want to tone this down. I'm still concerned about that, but I think it may, that part may actually, yeah, that part may actually, maybe I'll let that hang over a little bit. I'm trying to, you know, do what I can to keep it as stable as possible and still, you know, kind of have that overlap. So I'm thinking I may just go along these edges since they're going to kind of hang out a little bit. Just getting rid of some of the white along these edges. That looks pretty good. Oh, wrong ink. I don't mind it hanging over because I think it will be okay if I, this way I can take the bases of these and glue them down, which will give it more stability. Yeah, so I think that's what I want to do. Okay, I'm going to try with this. I know I don't want right to the edge because it will be hanging off. I'm going to try to put one of these on. It's drying. Where I, you know, extra glued it to try to give it a little bit of support. Okay. I think this should be okay. So let's see, I want to get it as much in the middle as I can with only a little bit hanging over the edge here. Push it forward a little bit. And that, well, let me tip this. All right. That puts the most fragile part glued to this piece, which I think is good. So I may have to go back, you know, once this is really set, because I'm on a bulky thing here. I may have to go back and, you know, glue a couple of loose spots down. I'm trying to press it all down and make it stick. So I probably don't have every space done, but so that's what that'll look like. I said if I just, oh, here, she's the one who's facing out here. So we're going to try to put that there. And somewhere I had a paper clip. Let me grab that. I'll make it a little bit easier to kind of slide her in and show what I mean. So we'd have to just, oops, I'm gluing things to the paper here, which we don't want. So one good thing about this glue, it just rubs off. Well, as long as it's not dry, it just rubs off. So that's good. So that'll go in here like that. And then, like I said, we'll have the bow up here in the corner, which I think would be really nice. And then when you turn the page, you have this little guy up in here like that. You have this page here, and then this opens this way, or this whole piece opens like that. So that is basically that. So let me have a look at the time. Okay, I think between the two of them, this was about an hour, so I think that's enough. I'll finish up the rest of this stuff on my own. I'll be adding lace and some little ruffles and things, fabric ruffles and stuff to the paper. And yeah, so we'll continue on with that. And next time you see this, I hope it should all be finished. The cover will be finished and everything, all the details will be done. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, which I didn't before I go away, is you know that I put the trifold tuxedo pocket in all of my journals. I made this one, and of course, like normal, I went overboard and did everything with bows. So I made it kind of got like real puffy and a little bulky. and I didn't like how that looked in here. It left too much of a, it was like paper, 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 space, paper, paper. It didn't look right. So it was just too thick and too full. I actually have to do a couple of things on this to make this right, but let me show you this, because this will go with the journal. I'm not putting it in the journal. So I've got a clip here that I made, so that just comes off from there. Here's the card in the front. Here is the little pocket with the extra piece of paper up here, and I may be changing this because I got a good decent size in here. This is a 3x3. If I make it 3x6, I can fold it back on itself and make a triangle out of it, and it will be twice as big as this, and I think I can get away with that in here because of the spacing in the pocket. So we have that. Then when you flip this up, you have this space to write in. This is the other secret pocket that's here. This one I'm going to leave the 3x3 because of the bulk, and that just goes back in here, and then you can lift this up and you can write there. So you have that, and this little card, of course, goes right in here. And I may take one of these like little flowers and put it up on top of each one of these two. So on the back we have this card that I made. This is a cutout from the side of one of the pages, actually the corners of the pages. So I did that, and I just left it blank because I thought it was just pretty enough. And here's the bow on top. You can write here if you want. When you open it up, you have another one of these cards, another secret pocket here, another secret pocket here, and again you can write there, and that goes back in here. And then when you open it up, you have this. So we have card like on the back, only these are shorter, and they fit in these pockets on either side, which is just nice because of the bumps. It goes right along the angle, which is kind of nice. And then I have this this card in here, and this is the same ribbon here, this chiffon-y kind of thing, and all I did was cut it down the middle and frayed the other side, so I got it half as wide. And this is also on that pretty typing paper, a little label that I made, cut out of another center of another card that I have, in some lace, and then the back again is just inked around the edges and plain. So that is the trifold tuxedo pocket that won't go in the book. I'm finding that if I do that for a TN size, which is the first time I tried to put one in a TN size book, it's just too big. I either have to make it smaller or a little less bulky. This fits nicer in a regular size journal. So anyway, and then here's the clip that I made, which is a little finicky, but it does go on. Again, far too bulky. Actually, I want to leave it off because there's a couple of things I want to fix. I have to glue this down, and I noticed that some of the little rhinestones are off the center of the flower, so I have to pop that off here and up here. I think this side was okay, but these two on this one, I have to pop it off and reglue. So there's a couple little things I need to get done to finish this off, but that's that. So that's it for now, guys. Thanks for stopping by with me. Thanks again for being patient with my 2 videos because I, overloaded it again. And until next time, be safe, be happy, be blessed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.